So good to see you here.
Morning.
And I want to say something you may not quite expect, and that is Happy Easter. Now, you may think that's a little strange, but it is Orthodox Easter this Sunday.
Yeah.
Happens to be just 1 week apart. I was reflecting a little bit on something Catherine Kim said last week, and that is that there are three main holidays going on at the same time, and Ramadan and the Passover, and of course the spirit of the resurrected consciousness of Jesus. And so I was looking, well, what does Ramadan really mean? And of course it's fasting, 40 days, right? From sunrise to sunset. And the idea behind it all, yes, they identify with the poor who don't have enough to eat, but mostly it's to bring to mind that the Spirit is always present. And the Spirit of God is present everywhere. And that really fits in with Christ consciousness and with the idea of the Passover, which is that God's presence saved the people of Israel, the Hebrews, and brought them out of captivity. So anyway, welcome to our Good Morning celebration, our Sunday morning. Is there anyone here for the first time? Oh yes, we have a first-time visitor. Let's see, do we have someone who would like to take a visitor's packet to them? Thank you. The packet contains some information for you, and I think there's a slip of paper in there. If you fill it out, you'll get a free magazine. So just bring it up to me or Reverend Don or one of the other people here that are members of our leadership team, and we'll be happy to get that for you. Well, blessings for that. Let's see, I think there might be some announcements for next week. We have a speaker we hear from fairly regularly. That's myself, Reverend Moore Horton. I'll be talking about seeing and being seen and vulnerability. And this morning, of course, you're all staying for Soup of the Soul, right? It's a modest donation that's asked of $3, but if you want to leave $100, that's okay too. We don't mind. But yes. All right. So that's the most of it. Is there anything else that needs to be announced at this time? No? Okay. Then let's... What? Oh, there.
I just want to say that we have Soup for the Soul today, in spite of how scant the sign-up sheet last week was. So I want to encourage everybody to sign up if you want to make a soup, or if you just like to, we can count on somebody to be there to wash the dishes. You know, they're set up and clean up, and our lovely hospitality mavens set up this morning because they're the hospitality mavens, and that's what they do. And come on in and sit on down. We're going to have soup later, but I just want to stress the sign-up sheet. We need breads. You can buy them. You don't have to bake them like our marvelous John bakes marvelous bread. Yes. Some of his wonderful bread is here this morning. It's still warm. I tested it.
You tested the bread. Wonderful.
It is fantastic. But sign-up sheet. It's a lot of fun, and the soup is so good.
And for a good cause.
And good cause. We're raising funds to purchase an emergency AED device to have here in the church. It's a defibrillator. It's idiot-proof. I can run it. It's a good thing.
Now.
Well, technology, you know.
Technology is a wonderful thing. All right, so I think we're here, and welcome to everyone who is here this morning. I think it's time for a congregational song. Do we have a song today?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We don't have the words in there, though, so you're just going to have to fake it with me.
Okay.
Very easy song, though. A lot of people know it. I think it was definitely a decision to do one that we might all know. It's called I Release and I Let Go. If you don't know it, you'll get it really fast. It's easy. I release and I let go. My breath in my spirit, fast running life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, yeah. Good morning, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for reminding me why I'm here, Darcy. It's good to know. Good to know. Sometimes I forget. Okay. If you'd join me and turn within for a moment of connection. Not to shut the world out, but to allow myself to go closer to that divine beingness within me. And as I know this is true of my life, I know it is true of every life, every being, every person within this wall. Every person who's chosen church today, and too, those who've chosen another path for their morning, they too are blessed. Every path is a path to God. And I know that Spirit is working within each person in amazing ways, in perfection, in the imperfect perfection that we all represent, all the God stuff we're made of. And I know that as this service unfolds, more is revealed to us. More is revealed to us through the music, through the message, through the connection with each person to one another. Each person has come here to be of service. Just the presence is being of service. That's how I believe. And I'm so grateful to know this truth. I'm so grateful to know this amazing peace that washes over us. I'm grateful to know the love that infuses us and manifests in amazing ways. So with this gratitude in my heart, I simply release this word into the law, knowing it is done as spoken and through grace so much more than I can imagine. Please join me in affirming, and so it is. And we have an affirmation. If you join me in saying, today I am grateful to be alive. I give thanks for all I notice in my life that astounds me. Yes, my life amazes me. So I am open in mind and willing of heart to change. And so it is.
We welcome Catherine Kim to do our reading today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Catherine, and I'm reading for the Spirit of Simon today. Like you're actually surprised, right? This passage is titled A Vulnerable Gift. It's written by Reverend Dr. Bob Luckin with his dog Murphy, the human whisperer for the Science of Mind magazine. I listened to a man at the dog park. He was bragging to the owner of a little dog, like me, about how powerful and possibly lethal his dog's bite is. The second man listened attentively and smiled and replied, "That's interesting. My little dog has a power that I think is every bit as great as the power you have described." "How is that possible?" asked the first man. pridefully believing that a dog's bite is the greatest superpower. Still smiling, the second man continued, "You see, my dog has the biggest heart of any dog I've ever known. He can love a total stranger or lick a child's face until the child can't stop laughing. When he meets a fighting dog, he lies down, rolls over on his back, and wags his tail." That would not be Simon. I've never seen a dog confront so many situations with grace, ease, and vulnerability. I really think it's his gift of vulnerability that has saved his life and warmed the hearts of more people than I can even begin to imagine to count. Love is the strongest power in the universe, not size, bite, or brawn. A pure heart is a cosmic gift. Never, ever, 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 ever lose sight of this. Don't you know, a big, honest heart is a pure gift. And the affirmation? Love has the power to heal, transform, and free us from the confines of human circumstances, loss, and pain. Our authentic selves are agents of profound change. Thank you.
I think it's time for Darcy and Brent
It
to
is.
present us with some music.
It is. Well, I just want to say, I love how things work together. Excuse me. The song that I want to do that came to my mind, excuse me, is an old pop song. But in truth, it is a very inspirational song because it says the thing that in order to be vulnerable, in order to be letting go of something and to let it in, is to know who you are in the first place. All of that is dependent on you understanding who you are and why you are. This gift from God of being born. And in this song it says, born free. Key of F, Brent. Born free as the wind blows, as free as the grass grows, born free to follow your heart. Live free, and beauty surrounds you. The world still astounds you each time you look at a star. Oh, stay free where no walls divide you. You're free as a roaring tide. There's no need to hide. Born free, and life is worth living, but only worth living 'cause you're born free. as a roaring tide. There's no need to hide. Born free, and life is worth living, but only worth living 'cause you're born free. You're born free. You're born free.
Oh, we are fortunate this morning to be born free. We get to hear Reverend Don Kerr speak. I think he's talking about letting go and letting in today. Is that right, Reverend Don?
Something like that.
All right, let's go for it.
Thank you, Reverend Mark. Thank you. Letting go, letting in, vulnerability, all that stuff. That's pretty confusing at first when I was starting to think about it. I grew up I'm not supposed to let things make me vulnerable, you know? You remember that, I'm sure. Well, anyhow, we're discussing this month about vulnerability. And except last Sunday was kind of nice. I think it was different. But according to those who have studied this subject that we call vulnerability in a metaphysical way, I'm talking about now, there's those that have written about this. They claim that vulnerability has a secret power. But it's only if we learn how to let go of our hesitations, of our fears, of the unknown, and then allow ourselves to explore vulnerability as an option. I saw that. It said, option for our spiritual growth and ongoing fulfillment. And I think that's what we're striving for. When we spiritually seek out workable ways, I call them pathways, kind of ways you can kind of walk around in. These ways for overcoming and the usual human coping and striving and surviving all of life's challenges. We call them challenges. Some people call them problems. Some people call them complications. But they're challenges such as a decision, like, for example, to want to help us transform and discover ways on how to do that, how to transform this struggling and juggling and surviving and striving and into what I like to call verdant, successful living and thriving. Yeah, thriving. With a commitment to allow vulnerability in our human experiences, we can find that the flow of divine right order is working out. Now, we don't want to brush that off as just another slogan. You know, we get accused of saying slogans here. Change your thinking, change your life. Well, we do that for a purpose, because that works. It works. And getting into the divine right order, into the flow of divine right order, really works miracles. Because verdant and successful thriving is exactly the type of energy moving in that flow of divine right order for our continual spiritual awareness. That sounds good, I think. Continual spiritual awareness. And I just asked the question, isn't that really what most of us want and strive for? To not just overcome and to not just exist or survive or get by, but to reach that point in our life. And I love using this word, self-mastery. Not self-control, but self-mastery, where we find ourselves thriving, not just surviving, abundant happiness with ourselves and our lives. Really, really, I think that's what I would prefer from this point on. Now, just a little tidbit of science of mind point of view here. One of the core concepts of our science of mind, you know what a core concept is? That foundation that influences all the rest of the area around it, and that is part of it. That core concept that we use is in one word, And it's just one of the core concepts, but it's a one word that's very important. This morning, we had a meditation, and Kathy spoke of the word wholeness. Wholeness. Now, that's WHOLENESS, not homeless, wholeness. Now, wholeness doesn't mean or just include things that we love about life and want and ourselves and our experiences about our lives, all this good stuff. It also includes those parts of us that we might rather leave in the closet, hide, or those experiences in our lives that we just would rather not have, wish they'd passed us by. And all that messiness in between, all of our struggles. Some think and strive, for more and more security and happiness through money, acquiring more money, spending money, going into debt for money. Happiness and money are together. Not realizing that money is just a part of the makeup of happy experiences, not the entire wholeness of thriving and living abundantly with joy. Now, I know you agree with me on that. I can just see it on your faces. I've been broke, money-wise. I've been broke, really flat broke. I've been married and broke. I've been having 3 kids to feed with my wife and broke. I've been so broke I couldn't pay the light bill. Got it paid though, didn't I, Phyllis? I came home that day and said, I'm done working. She said, get the hell back out there. She said, I got a bill right here that says you jolly well better pay this light bill. That kind of thing. But I've been broke money-wise in my life, and I have been fluently prosperous. I love to say that word, fluently prosperous. And I admit, I prefer fluently prosperous. You bet. But I had an acquaintance in business with me once. He worshiped the gold standard idea of more money. His idea was that, he'd always say, life is just like a crap sandwich. The more bread you got, the less crap you have to eat. Oh my God. Only he used different words than that. But today, this guy, he lives out of a camper in his pickup truck. He travels all over America. He's traveling happily all over. He works odd jobs. I think he has a bank account, but he doesn't have a ton of money in there. And you know what? He's never been more happy than he is right now in his life. And he's found love. He found love in Tallahassee. After 2 tries at love, 2 divorces, he's found love. I'm happy for him. But okay, we're talking about wholeness. And wholeness is getting a drink of water. There. Wholeness and vulnerability and letting in. I heard someone say to be willing to be vulnerable is to have trust in our own authenticity. Now, wholeness creates the container, I think, for us to step into and live our most authentic lives. And okay, what is authentic? What do I mean by authentic? Okay, here, fancy words, authentic. Just be authentic with me, will you please? Okay. The qualities of our true character shining through, of our whole life. Not just live our Instagram lives and our Facebook lives, but our sleepy-eyed, our bedhead, need a shower, miss the bus life, our everything life. That's what we're talking about. So that secret power that's residing in vulnerability, that secret, I think, tells us that wholeness is not perfection or completeness even. We like to say, perfect, complete, and whole. That's me. Okay, I got 1 out of 3 there. You see, that secret tells us that wholeness is not perfection or completeness. It's too dang big for that. It's too big for that. Wholeness is big enough for all that we are and what we can grow into be. Wholeness creates the container, again, for us to just step into and live our most authentic lives. The truth thrives on authenticity. It's our wholeness which holds us in our divinity. Yeah, that's a revelation to me to think on that in those terms. My wholeness holds me in my divinity because I'm not perfect and complete, but I am whole. And our wholeness unfolding allows us in our ever becoming, always becoming, as well as now what I am right now. We come, into our worldly experiences as whole, spiritual little beings. Yeah, we do. But then, the world takes over. The choosing begins. If we learn not to make choices, the world chooses for us. Anyhow, choices. We can't get away from that, can we? The choosing begins. We begin our human experiences, and much of the time we fall into what we call the accumulation habits. Okay? One of the many world's spells, of course. But the more we get, the more we want, and the most of the time we don't want to let go of most of what we're accumulating. I'm beginning to believe that more is better than less. So bring on the more stuff. And all the advertisements, we know this, we've talked about this before, they tell us that we aren't enough without another product, or we'll miss out if we don't get more and get it now, and it's on sale. If we're not careful, I'm sliding away from the advertising now. I'm talking about us here. If we're not careful, if we're not mindful, and if we're not paying attention, we might just slide off into something kind of like this little story I'm going to share with you. Did I ever tell you about my favorite story of letting go? Well, I'm going to tell it to you now. Letting go. Starts with a man named Jack. And Jack was walking along a steep cliff one day, looking at all the rocks and the scenery. And this is a place where, it had been underwater smooth eons ago. And there was stuff in the cliff he could pull out and put in his pockets, like shells and things. And it was just amazing. He was just fascinated by that. He's looking at all this rock and scenery, and he accidentally got too close to the edge. And he fell over. Well, on the way down, he grabbed the branch, which temporarily stopped his fall. And he looked down past his feet. And to his horror, he saw that the canyon wall fell straight down for, he guessed, 1,000 more feet or more. Well, he couldn't hang on to that branch forever. And there was no way for him to climb up that steep wall of the cliff, so Jack began hollering for help, hoping that someone up there, maybe passing by, would lower a rope or something. Help, help, anyone up there? Help me, he yelled for a long time. He was getting a little hoarse, but no one answered. He was just about ready to give up. And he heard a voice. Jack! Hey, Jack, can you hear me? Oh, yes, help me. I can hear you. I'm down here hanging on a branch. Oh, I can see you, Jack. You doing okay? Well, for now, but who are you? Where are you? I'm the Lord, Jack. I'm everywhere, Jack. The Lord? You mean God? That's me, Jack. Oh, God, please help me. I promise, I swear, if you get me down from here, I'll stop all my gambling, all my sins. I'll really be a good person. I'll serve you the rest of my life. Whoop, easy on the promises, Jack. Let's get you off from there first, and then we can talk. Now, here's what I want you to do. Listen carefully. Oh, I'll do anything, God. Just tell me what to do, okay? Okay. First thing, let go of the branch. What? I said, let go of the branch. Just trust me, Jack. Let go of the branch. There was a long silence. And finally, Jack hollered back out, help, help, is there anyone else up there? You probably heard that joke before, but I like it. It's my favorite letting go joke. Okay, letting go can really be hard to do. Especially when we believe we need to hang on to what appears to be our own immediate security. I guess if we found ourselves in the position of Jack hanging onto that branch on the side of the cliff, I probably wouldn't want to let go either right then. However, our species, human species, we have an amazing ability to project, project out of our imaginations. Now, our imaginations can be wonderful. Imaginations also can be, they can be friend or foe, really. Friend or foe, our imaginations. We can create all sorts of possible situations with our imaginations, and not all can be to our benefit. We seem to have a false self at times that rises out of negative energy that is stirring the pot of our fears. Imagination full of fear can create scenarios that hardly ever happen. You know, Mark Twain, remember what he said about that? He said, "I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened." But even imaginary threats seem very real to our emotions, and what we believe can happen. So to understand how to transform fear into something beneficial in our life, it's a pretty tricky thing. But of all the sentient beings on this planet, we humans have been graced with that ability to do so. And it starts with letting go and embracing vulnerability. How can that be? Okay? So the thing is, reality here, as we grow from our childhood into where we are at this point in our life, there's a good chance while growing up that we were a bit hypnotized by the world mind. Now, the world mind, science of mind here, in our writings, we call it the mass mind, the mind of group consciousness. Some of you are familiar with that, perhaps. And because of the mass nature of human experiences accumulating from those people that were in our life, mostly who had good intentions for our welfare, like teachers and parents and close buddies and friends, they mostly had good intentions to warn us to be darn careful about life. Take it, watch out here. Continually cautioning us with tidbits of fears to plant in our little planet minds of all the things that could do us harm. Many were usually taught to not become vulnerable. That's what I remember. Don't allow ourselves to become vulnerable. And we set about surrounding ourselves with ways to insulate us from harm. That's how many of us became accumulators. Yeah. We accumulate lots of things. Emotionally, especially what we believe to be safe, and we can hold on to tight what we can come to believe will hang right in there. Important to believe. And we don't even know that we're building up false treasures. And I don't mean just physical stuff, but also all the fear perceptions that make us feel we may not be worthy, feeling bad because we believe that we are bad at what we do and how we do. We were born bad. And that is one major thing of why we are taught in so many standard religious teachings that we were born in sin. Born with this package of stuff that we need to unload somehow, and we can't let go without some help. But let's hang in there about this state of awareness, this state of courageous willingness and allowing vulnerability. Earlier we heard a reading by our late ambassador's mama, Catherine Kim, about the vulnerable gift of an honest heart full of love and willing to love unconditionally from a non-judgmental place in a dog's gentle, authentic way of loving life. Just roll over and enjoy things. A beneficial way to look at vulnerability is to see that vulnerability calls upon us to reflect on ourselves with gentle eyes. Yeah. It's not like pulling yourself up by the roots and checking every once in a while how I'm doing, why am I not growing. It's be gentle with yourself. A beneficial way to look at that is doing that. And as we courageously embrace, if we do this, our vulnerability at first, we may feel emotionally naked. lacking the emotional armor of our old fearful beliefs that we let go. Try this out here. Let it go. These old beliefs are powerfully embedded at times, coming from our, I like to call it our small self. We talk about the capital S self and then the small self. Many New Thought studies teach about that small self and the divine self, the soul self. And this small self, let's call it this, which uses the little planet mind that holds us captive to the world mind as we watch events rush around us and over us and all the human conditions and experiences that our world medias are laying out, pouring out upon us all the time, trying to arrest our attention and influenced by their perspectives of what is going on in the world. And we can forget that there is a way to determine truth from false dogma or even false news without having to do all the fact-checking and that kind of thing. If we remember that tried and true way of determining the truth from the sensational that's playing on our fears and stirring our fearful feelings, it's wise for us to just remember, if it's preaching or teaching fear, it's close to being about 99% false. It's not created for your benefit. Excitement, maybe, yeah. Created for your arousal, probably, but mostly baloney. Fear needs to hold captives to survive. Yeah, you bet your life. It never empowers us to grow into happiness. Letting go is not a fearful act because you gotta let go. No, another drink of that. You know, this is tap water. It doesn't taste very good. Have you noticed that? We have bottled water in the refrigerator, so if you want a big, long drink, the tap water is there, but we also have other water. Okay, so letting go is not a fearful act, but in our exercise of allowing vulnerability, if we do this, something pretty amazing can happen. Allowing vulnerability will free up space, emotional space, energetically to let in what we've been holding at bay with our thoughts and our emotions and our fears and et cetera, et cetera. Any feelings of unhappiness and incompleteness were never born out of how life has treated us. That's why I'm this way. No, but rather by what we have been calling, naming, labeling life with our anger, with disappointment, with frustration. Yeah, fear, with holding back, playing small. You see, calling our up and down feelings real life doesn't make them so. Doesn't make them so. Letting go is not easy, but it's really worth any and all the effort on our parts if we make that commitment. When we awaken and see what it is that we want to let go, there's the other key. And here's a kicker for us. I think it's a kicker. Letting in is what the emotion of trust and experience of allowing will do for us. See, what we can find will happen is this. The universe will fill the gaps. How many times have we heard the universe doesn't like empty space? The universe is always filling in. It'll fill the gaps with divine purpose and fulfillment because the universe is saying yes. We talk about that, don't we? Yeah. It'll fill in with divine purpose and with fulfillment. But without first letting go, we can't get it. It can't be let in. It's just like breathing. Think about this. We have to exhale the old before we can inhale the new, the elixir of life. Yeah. And when we allow the universe to really breathe through us like this, now I admit that it sounds oblique. Just talking about it, it's not enough. It's something that's got to be experienced. You can get that experience, but it's got to be experienced. That's how life continues. It's in and out, giving and drawing back in. letting go and receiving. The great creative breath movement of the universe is working that way, opening the soul, moving into our awareness of intoxication, of living full out for the divine. I had a minister one time say, it's living full out for God, Don. It's living full out for God, the G-O-D, the grand overall designer. The divine. Breaking open to each moment, breaking it open each moment, our true beingness, fearlessly following and allowing vulnerability to break us open to beauty. Oh man, you know something? As I close here, I want to read something to you. Our wonderful, if I got it here, our wonderful Science of Mind magazine. And for you who received a little tag to fill in, whatnot, you want to get that magazine, take it home. It's about so big, and it'll fit right in your purse or your pocket. But I want to read something to you by Louise Talon, who was the religious science practitioner who wrote those daily guides. And this one hasn't shown up yet for the day. It's on April the 21st to be read. But I want to read it to you right now. And you know what? I'm going to use my guitar to help me out. So let me take another drink here. You hear that, Taylor? Her name is Taylor. Taylor, my sweetheart. My sweetheart. Sit in my study, and Phyllis is outside saying, how long are you going to be in there with Taylor? Well, I say as long as she allows me to stroke her strings. I don't know if you can hear that coming through or not, but this is called Broken Open by Beauty. Broken Open by Beauty. What a title to a daily guide. To be fully, vulnerably human is to be broken open. Broken open by a rainbow, broken open by the golden light of early morning in the treetops. Broken open by a heron in the creek, slowly dancing in the morning mist, by the tail-flicking squirrels, by the gentle rain beating on your hair and your face. To be fully vulnerable, to be truly messily human, is to be present in all, everything, all, to love it all, to revel in the mystery of it all, and to listen for the obvious divine harmony that exists in, through, and does all things. If we can stand in that radical presence, born out of love, then everything is a revelation. Every moment a chance for newness, for wonder and awesomeness. We spend our lives, we spend our lives is in busyness, just trying to figure it all out, how to do it better, how to win friends and influence people. But we can just choose to spend our time for just being. I have a question for us. When was the last time you just experienced life without labeling it? When was the last time you were broken open by a rainbow? And when was the last time you laughed until you cried? I'm going to tell you right now, we can put down whatever we're doing, and we can experience life. I say life, because life is where our soul can slow dance with delight, And if you can say this with me, there's an affirmation, it's a great affirmation. Just repeat this. Today I let my soul
Today I let my soul
be broken open by the beauty in the world.
be broken open by the beauty of the world.
And I'm a radical presence born out of love.
And I'm a radical presence born out of love.
Born out of love. And so it is. Thank you. Amen. Amen. Okay. I hope you're glad you came here today, this morning. Go tell a friend. Tell him come on down and see us. Reverend Moore's going to speak next week, and he's going to give us some good stuff. I've been looking through some of the stuff he's going to be talking about, and I thought, I'd like to talk about that. Way to go. So Reverend Moore's going to help me and some other people do the next stage of our service here. And I don't have a program, but I know that we're going to talk about
I'm next.
other things.
Go ahead, Brent, let it go. Yes? Yep.
We're going to have a song. Good.
We got lots of songs. Very nice.
Let it go, and watch your life flow. Don't let the good times pass you by. Let it go, in the only way I know to find love, peace, and happiness, and rainbows in the sky. Don't hang on to your problems, don't hang on to your tears. Lift up your heart with laughter now, let go of all your fears. Where's the happy ever after you've waited for all these years? The answer's locked inside your heart, a prisoner of your fears. Let it go, and watch your life flow. Don't let the good life pass you by. Let it go, it's the only way I know to find love, peace, and happiness, rainbows in the sky. Don't hang on to your anger, don't hang on to your pain. Let your heart be like sunlight after the pouring rain. Don't let yourself just tell yourself you're sorry. You've lived your life in vain. Just give your life what you've got. The more you give, the more you gain. Let it go, and watch your life flow. You can sing with me. Don't let the good life pass you by. Let it go. It's the only way I know to find love, peace, and happiness, and rainbows in the sky. Take it on, Brett. Do it. Don't hang on to life's pleasures or the things you think you need. Tune into what you've got right now. Life gives you what you need. Don't let yourself be trapped by worry or by greed. When you enjoy each moment, then you know you've been freed. Let it go, and watch your life flow. Don't let the good life pass you by. Let it go, it's the only way I know to find love, peace, and happiness, and rainbows in the sky. To find love, peace, and happiness, and rainbows
God. Thank you so much for the brightness, the rainbows in the sky.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. We give and we receive. We let go and we let things in. Right now, it's time to let go of some of your cash. And let it,
I don't believe you said that.
There you go.
and let it flow in to the chapel so we may continue to provide this wonderful service, this uplifting spirit, this teaching of the truth that is all about our heart loving everyone. So let's read together this offering affirmation that's in your program. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
Who's going to help with this? Is that going to be the usual ones with over here and over here?
Sure, there you go.
The twins, the twin money gatherers.
There we go.
The president of the board and Simon's mama.
There's nothing to need, Brent. Brent.
What do we sing?
There is nothing to need. There is nothing to need, hide from or fear. I am whole and complete, right now and right here. There is nothing to need, hide from or fear. I am whole and complete, right now and right here. There is nothing to need, hide from or fear. I am whole and complete, right now and right here, right now and right here.
There is a spirit in this universe. It is a spirit of openness. It is a spirit of wholeness. It is a spirit that circulates life itself and is life. So we just rejoice in being present in that Holy Spirit of love. And we just share with one another today the best intentions, the best energy, the best life that we have. For this and for everything, every gift, we simply give thanks. And let us say together, and so it is. Let's stand and say our prayer of protection. It is printed in the program. The light of God surrounds us.
The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let us sing. This song, you want to join in the circle.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it
in the openness of spirit always.